afternoon. It is 6:30. It is Wednesday, which means that it is time for Connections 50 Plus Facebook Wednesday Live. Boy, are we happy to be here again. As usual, I'm Terri-Ann Joseph Braffett.
And I'm Jennifer Joseph.
Now, Jen, last week we started a discussion about the momentum we must maintain as we prepare to go into the third act. And we started with the topic of all topics, money. Everybody has an issue with money. And we got a lot of feedback from people that, this one person even said to me, "You're brave to raise that money up. You're brave because people don't deal with money, and it is the thing that people hide behind." And
and it has so much different dimensions.
Yes.
Because we covered about money, we covered about family situations, we touched about entrepreneurship, the business, friends,
and yourself.
Right. So we covered the different topics, Terri-Ann, and we want today.
So what we said is that, one thing came out. Money creates dilemmas for everybody. Dilemma meaning you have to make a choice, hard choices. One road or the next. So we thought, how best would we continue the discussion to allow everyone to realize, look, you're not alone and there's no need to hide. We want to start the discussion. So we have decided to invite along one of our dear friends, Betty Joseph. Betty could be described like us as a typical 50 plus getting ready to charge onto that third act stage. And notwithstanding the energy and so on, she is facing some real dilemmas. So Jen and I said, and Betty has very kindly consented
yes, she did.
So let's have a discussion about that whole issue of the dilemma. To see, and I'm very confident that at the end of the evening, we are going to be in a better place, ready to talk about money and participate in some of the things that Jen and I plan to help you move along. So, Betty, can I just ask in terms of context? So you are retired from formal work.
Yes.
You are now self-employed partially.
Yes.
So you have a pension and you have some real estate income, but it's not a lot.
Right.
Okay, so that's your...
But it's not enough.
But no. But you are realizing the real thing that post-retirement, your income is not equal to what it was before.
Correct.
So what are some of the changes that you've had to make as a result of that first, that's the first dilemma?
Yes. But I would say, for example, where I was not as rigid as before in terms of planning, whatever income was coming in, and sometimes I would get lazy.
Because the salary coming every month.
Right. So now I have to be more serious, more dedicated, more focused on using what I have, and at the same time, still have some aside, for emergencies and so. So
in spite of the reduced income, you see the need to still save.
Yes.
That is so important, Jennifer, because some people think that when you're on income, you can't save.
Betty mentioned inflation.
Yes.
And if you have to look at the cost of living and the cost of living rising all the time, then what we have to look at is that you must save.
Yes.
Right? Because if you don't save, and that is the choice that he has to make. Because you can either ignore that inflation, not save, and then when time comes at the end of the month, you would not be able to meet your expenses.
Yes.
So in that situation, Betty, tell me, have you been able to cope in terms of actually, because you're planning, so you're planning with inflation in mind, have you seen yourself being able to to, what is it say, that you're spending and in line with cost of living?
Yes, at the moment, yes, I have to.
Yes.
I have to, yes, pay the bills, yes, take a vacation sometimes, but still thinking, and also emergency and health.
Oh, yes.
I have to keep those two things in mind. My health, which is expensive, of course, if illness should come. But it means being ready to spend that money.
You know, one thing that Betty said that I love in terms of the 50 plus perspective, as you reorganize your pots into which the diminished income has to be
Yes.
distributed. You said your expenses, you said your savings, and you said health. And I love that you separated health from expenses, because as we get, and the one I love the most is vacation, because you didn't forget yourself. And many people think that when they have reduced income, they cut off themselves.
So, Betty, in terms, okay, so I understand your planning, putting things in place. Congratulations, because that's what we all have to do entering into the third act.
I love her framework. I love the framework.
But tell me, in terms of health, what choices you made there? How you dealt with that dilemma?
Well, for sure. One of the things, I try my best now to be proactive when it comes to health. Even today, I had a session of exercising and so on.
So you focus on wellness,
Yes.
not health. So you're not dealing with sick. You're preventing sick. Little wisdom coming out here.
Being proactive. She definitely being proactive.
Yes, I have to be, because I look at the examples around me. And I do see examples of people my age and older. And some of the illnesses were preventable. Some of them. So I'm doing my best now, eating habits, etc., to, control as far as I can, those things that I can. Because as I said before, illness is expensive.
It is.
But Jen, it is, in a way, we can probably have a little bit more motivation to be proactive about health by realizing it as a cost-cutting measure.
Because it is.
Oh, yes.
It is.
It is.
So if you're proactive and maintain health, then there is a bill that you are avoiding. And as we grow older, the maintenance becomes easier. Wonderful.
So within your planning, that is part of planning.
Yes.
That is part of planning. So in terms of under health, you have to be proactive. Exercise and wellness is, number one there.
Wellness is your goal.
And even the necessary tests, as Dr. Oz would say, know your numbers. So things like, pressure, sugar. etc. Make sure that you do those tests so that you know what's happening in the body as well.
Okay.
So that's one.
Terri-Ann, what is this reminding you of?
But something's coming. We're not going to talk about it right now, but
because as Betty mentioned, all the factors, Betty, about health, knowing your numbers, etc. That is how you prepare yourself.
Yes.
You build
True. Yes. Yeah, it's an important part of the third act.
But Jen, you know what I'm getting from you, Betty, because it's something we talked about. One of the things that people fear most about aging that creates the money dilemma is the image. How we gonna look? How we gonna look? How are people thinking that I am now of diminished stature? But here we have Betty with a plan. Yeah, so you're going to look good because you are proactive about your wellness.
Yes.
You ain't playing with the vacation, so you will still have
time out to relax. Yes.
You have adjusted your expenses to suit by simple day-to-day choices that you've made.
Yes.
And in case something happens, you still have a little left in the kitty. Yeah. So to all and sundry out there, you are still at the level. No, but look at it.
True, but don't worry. There's still some planning and thinking that goes into this.
What you say, Betty, as one of your most challenging areas that you have to
Dilemmas.
address, the dilemmas you have to address?
Honestly, I think it's thinking about the next generation.
Oh,
Legacy.
Yes, you work hard, you plan, and so on. And will the young ones appreciate what you are leaving behind? Will they take good care of it? I know we should not spend too much time thinking about that because it could take away from our enjoyment. But it's part of what we do think about as human beings, I believe.
And all your work would have been in vain.
yeah, but in planning a legacy, I am one believe that it's something you have to give a lot of thought.
True.
I don't agree in some of, thinking that we should leave it alone. Because what you do now, all your hard work,
Mm-hmm.
you want others to enjoy that. You want to set them, you have already set that example. You want to leave something behind that they can say, okay, I can follow, I can carry on
Mm-hmm.
that work that you have done. They should want to make you proud. But, and again, the dilemma.
But
What should we leave, or how much should we leave, or
how much should we spend on ourselves?
Right.
But you see what it is too. The example that I have, my parents who left something for us to build on.
Okay, great.
And we are often told, yes, spend as much as possible on yourself, take care of yourself, and so on. Fine. But it's also important, I think, to train, and this is the other thing, here communication comes in, of course, that we shouldn't just work on the legacy, pass on, and just hope that the next generation will do well with it. Because I believe in communication, I even call my nephews to meetings now. Of course, they don't always come. But
so getting them ready to understand the asset that is being left. Jen, we read something like that last week
about that
when we talked about
getting
family understanding
meeting,
what is being left.
Discussing the goals.
Yes.
Share at this stage what you want.
Let them know how hard you work to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
So they value it.
So having that discussion with those who you would like to leave that legacy for is so important.
Yes.
Because then that will ease that fear you may have that they may just waste it away, or as you say, don't appreciate it, or or be tricked. So you won't have that problem, there.
But Betty, I think that in the issue of legacy, I think given that you are doing the best that you can do to make sure that they can manage what is left to them. And I believe that once we do the best that we could to make sure that they understand, then we leave it.
Yeah.
If
it's true.
We have enjoyed it. We have enjoyed part of it in our own well-being, and we have left a start for them. And we have done all that we can to show them how to do the same for their heirs.
Yeah.
If they blow it, it's on them.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Very good point.
But we've got to have the conversations. And I want to congratulate you on calling the young ones together to prepare.
Let me ask Betty.
Yes.
How difficult, how easy was it
to get them to come to meetings
to actually have that conversation?
Actually having these meetings.
Long ago, when we were just discussing general things, and they were younger, especially two nephews, they were younger, they would come to meetings more often. But nowadays, they are very busy. So maybe at least twice a month. I learned from my parents by their example. And I often think to myself, thank God for their example. But the perfect situation would have been more communication. Like I always admire
between them and you.
Yes. I admire Jennifer when she always talks about her dad. who was a talker, communicator.
Mhm.
But some parents, they do their best. They would even show you in terms of real estate that there's a good way to go, but they didn't communicate a lot.
They did it the best they could.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Betty,
And you observed and you learned, and now you're passing it on.
And I agree.
now
I
Terri-Ann
agree.
did say to you just now that after you've done all that you do, you have to leave it alone. And we have to also appreciate that it's a different generation you're dealing with. So it's a different generation. So we, in the third act, at this stage in our lives, have to understand that and allow them to give their opinion.
Yes.
And share with us how they would like it done.
Jen,
And this is what we need to do.
I want to bring up a point. One of our viewers, hi Keith, how are you? Has made a very interesting point. He's applauding your having the regular meetings on generational wealth, but he's also raising the point on generational health. Do you discuss health issues in those meetings?
Yes, I do. And I don't think they take me seriously yet.
Whose health do you discuss? Yours, theirs, or everyone's?
Theirs.
Because they're young.
I discuss
They're
theirs.
indestructible.
Because I talk to them about, exercise and so on. They don't have time. A simple thing as bending your knees when you lift heavy items. They smile at me as if
your knees old, they are young.
You need to do the arthritis.
So they are watching at you.
It helps the back when you bend your knees.
You know what I have found, Betty, in conversation, it's always great to give stories.
Yeah.
They give stories. So in this case, you're talking to the younger ones. So they're looking at you and in their minds, you're relating your issue. Not them, because their knees, they could run up and down the staircase.
And their back
but
strong.
If you share a story which involves people within their age group, the young ones, teenagers, who, because of health challenges, cannot operate in a certain way, they may be quicker relate and things that they can do to prevent that. And maybe simple things. How they drive on the road to don't be, in terms of accidents, etc. So, it don't have to be in terms relative to your type of illness, but you're talking about disability and other type of issues that could, that could occur with the younger ones.
I am beginning to trust more in the example that I've set. You said your parents weren't great communicators, but by their example of what they did, and what you saw them doing, you saw the need to prepare because they left you something to start with. And you have done a good job in your second act of building on that. And I think that we need to put some more credit. I am guilty of not believing that my children will do a good job further on. And when they do something that shows, hey, they're paying attention.
Yes.
So we are concerned sometimes that they're going to blow it, are going to lose the house, they're going to mortgage it, or they will take the money in the unit trust and go on a vacation, and they will not save. But I think our young ones, they look and they take in, they assimilate it. I think the problem of making sure the wealth and the legacy is maintained is when we don't face our own reality and make sure that our actions are transparent to the young ones. Because not everyone might be able to articulate and speak. But, if we let them know what, of course, age appropriate, what's troubling us, when the funds are cut, oh gosh, I'm not going to buy this week, I have to buy it, and why. I think that's...
And that, Terri-Ann, I could attest to that, because that's the way I would in that every step of the way, all the decisions that were made in the home, because my father was the only breadwinner, my mom was a homemaker, and every decision was made. He explained and explained why this money is being saved towards X, and because of that, we cannot afford to, to do X. So that way, we were able to, well, yes, you don't feel guilty.
You learn sacrifice
from very early. Sharing stories, that is so critical. That is what I grew up with my dad doing, and I found you could relate easier to the stories than sharing how I feel or what I want. And it will help at this stage, to that stage, a 50+ stage, that you live more comfortable. You remove that fear. You don't have so many dilemmas about whether I should do this or I shouldn't do that. In your planning, you should be sure or be assured that, yes, this what I am doing, it is the correct thing, and I have already shared what I am doing, why I'm doing it, or what I'm leaving, and leave it alone.
And even if you can't, for people out there who may not be able to articulate it, it's easy. For example, something as simple as put the telephone bill on the table where everybody could see it. So that they'll understand, okay, it's normally 400. How come it reached 800? Put the grocery bill on the table where they can see it. There are ways that we can sensitize the next gen. When you have to make a repair in the house, let them sit in the discussion with the plumber or the contractor, so they understand how much money it takes to maintain the house.
What I will always also say is that sometimes we may not know the answer, especially if it's financial, is a financial issue. I always advise to get an expert. Have someone get help from someone, from a professional who knows about that particular area. If it's financial, if it's something to do with property. Just recently someone asked me they wanted a lawyer, and I said, what type of lawyer? And they want somebody dealing with conveyancing. It makes a difference because they didn't understand and didn't want to be cheated because they were going to sell a property, sell some land, and wasn't sure about it. So in that case, find the right person who could advise you.
I will tell you a joke, and I hope this person is not listening. I had a friend send a question to me. Terri-Ann, do you know an honest lawyer? And when I looked at it, I said, what is the assumption that you're making? That every lawyer is dishonest?
Or they are few honest.
Or they are few. Now, I think that failure to trust in people stops us from taking care of ourselves. Because you feel everyone is out to get you, so you don't progress. And, Median has made a point. And I think it really epitomizes all of this. Self-care is at the roots. And she's saying personal and financial.
Oh, yes.
Because when our children see us taking care of ourselves and observing how to take risk, because I have to deal with a lawyer. I have to deal with a banker. I have to deal with a plumber. Demand to fix.
They have to appreciate the different people have different expertise
and see how we get over challenges.
Yes.
Example is very, very important. And it's now that I am an adult and in my third stage act that I really appreciate the examples that my parents set for me.
Because some of us will talk up a storm, but what we're doing is not related to what we're saying,
So the main out of this discussion, Terri-Ann, because I
looked at the time again, 6:57,
is that definitely at this stage, and Betty, really shared some great nuggets in terms of one, Terri-Ann, first thing you have to plan. And we mentioned it last week.
Recognize income is reduced.
Recognize the situation that you are in. You know, you must look clearly at where are you now financially, and I think Median said it, in your personal situation.
Yes.
Are you now, if you're having health challenges, you know that is a big cost, right? Are you ensuring that you put things in place
She had some nice
to
buckets
take
here.
care on that wellness aspect? So, and Terri putting them in buckets.
Proactive.
So the first
The
thing
first
then,
is to understand where your income level is from before.
yeah,
Then look at your expenses and make the adjustments. Don't forget, you have to save, because you could have things coming up.
yeah,
Don't forget, you have to take care of self. So vacation for fun and being proactive about your well-being.
yes,
Taking care of your body to make sure you're good, fit enough to have the fun.
Yep.
And lastly, communicating, whether it's by meetings or by example and transparency with your potential is.
oh yes.
I think
So all
have
that
it
together, that all
you have it covered.
all this will help in terms of how are we entering, or how are we enjoying our lives
Taking
into the third.
Taking the trauma out of the dilemma.
Yes.
It's not
Because
hard.
really and truly, if you do not plan, Terri-Ann, when that time comes, or during that time,
You wouldn't look as
you're
fantastic
going to
as
be
Betty.
you're going to be really in problem. You know, and this is really nice having Betty, you know, share this with us. We have, you know, we spoke about, and as we go along, and we have had entrepreneurs and we have had families chat about how are they dealing with their
Remember we had
situations.
Keith and Marina giving us
yeah.
wonderful family advice.
You know,
Yes.
and this is what we are all about.
Yes. And stay tuned, because this path is going somewhere. We're going to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to be as prepared as Betty is. So,
and stay tuned, because we are going to have forums.
Yes.
Small group forums where you can either come together with your family, bring along your friends, group maximum 10. So it would be really intimate for you to share and discuss and get some really solutions to where you are today. Okay, so we have to say bye, Terri-Ann.
Bye. Thank you, Betty. Thank you. Betty's been a good timekeeper for us. She's telling us it's 7:01 we overtime.
Thank you so much for being here with us on
wonderful.
Connections with the Plus Line.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye. Next week.
Okay.